Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round two of the Rookie Challenge Games. My name is Marcus Baylor, and to my right is Ryan Eastman. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Game one wrapped up last night. Back here for game two in Bangor. Are you excited? Are you pumped?
Oh yeah, I'm very excited to always see the new generation of possibly some future stars in the making of this year. There's some exciting players to get going, like of course Harmony Akayu, a sister of another FBA player, Ogun Akayu, and just many interesting things to see what will come out from this game.
That we will, and obviously, as mentioned last night, a bit of a change up of the rosters. Some players swapped over. New starting lineup for both teams here tonight, just to give everyone a bit of a chance to shine, or at least have an opportunity of the top 24. Not just going to focus on the top rated players. All top 24 will have an opportunity to stand out. I think the players are actually getting pretty close to ready to hit the floor. Any last minute words before we start?
Not really. I'm ready to get things going, and hopefully we get to see the best effort from everyone that is going to be playing today. And here we are going to see the two starting lineups real quick, and ready to get things started here in Bangor, where we get to see the court of the championship team of this year. Very exciting for a young player to have the playing on a court like this in this kind of stage. As we get to see Gennaro. It's tipped up and gets stolen by McQuad. It's a good team with the elites as Akayu gets the rock. Passes up with Robbins. Robbins with the lay in, but no good. So right now, not a good offensive start so far between the two teams. And another freaking turnover as Cross gets the steal.
And we mentioned yesterday that, players not used to playing together, a lot of turnovers we kind of expect between these two teams. So we see a foul there and a chance to go to the line for two.
Okay. All right, now we get to see Fletcher with their first personal
Uh,
of the game.
that was another thing we saw last night. Two players getting fairly close to fouling out there. At one point, Ulysses and I believe it was memories coming to me slowly. Falcam, both of them with 5 fouls to end the game.
Wow. Well, of course, you better be hoping to clean that up if you're trying to get a good solid position in the draft. As you can see, a lot of the teams that who are going into the
Yeah, interesting.
lottery over these.
I was going to say, very interesting position that we have the Tennessee Moonshiners, a team I'd argue that has quite a few starters already locked up. I don't see a lot of holes for them. Who of this group of 24 would they select number one? I imagine every player on the court right now has a feeling that, hey, I could still go number one with a team like that and compete early.
Yeah, well, there is a good opportunity. There's a good chance that they could trade back as well, as you said, that they do have a pretty good roster from the get go. They might not have to have such a pick and good advantage for future asset to continue that. As we get to see Gennaro going for a tough fadeaway, but not able to get it down that time. As Robbins got the board and hands it off to Slater. And right now we see Cross go for three and no good. So a little bit of an offensive struggle for both teams. As Fletcher tries to dish it into the paint, but Donbras was able to get it. Had a tip by a defender, but he was able to recover it and get the lay-in for two. So now we're all tied up two apiece.
Yeah, the first actual basket in 1.5 minutes. The 2 points from the Elites coming from the free throws earlier. Said yesterday we saw the same sort of slow start to the game, and interesting to see if the starters this round have the same issues. It looks like they are after another miss.
Yeah, another miss there by lay-in by Akayu. As she's our offensive heavy player compared to her brother, as Gennaro. Hands it over to West Penrock. Hands it over to Don Bartz. Going back over to Gennaro. Gennaro trying to get into the. But he ends up stepping out of bounds, so it'll be the Elite's ball.
So I asked Christopher this yesterday, but what do you think the scouts and GMs are really looking for here tonight of these players?
Well, honestly, I really feel like the biggest thing would probably be a little bit more of what are things that they have been polishing on since their interviews and their scouting from their time in college or in the Euro leagues or even in the D League, as some of these players have been able to introduce, as we are introducing having players enter into the D League to be able to get paid and all that good stuff. They'll have to go to a um, college, but really just trying to see how much their game has evolved since the ending of their respective seasons. As we get to see another foul there, reach in foul, as we get to see Robbins heading into the.
I definitely agree. I think one of the things they are factoring in is the growth of a player, and I mean it definitely has been a short time since the end of their last seasons, but definitely being able to see, how quickly do they adapt given the off season? Because that's something a team necessarily can't wait 5 to 6 years for a player to hit their peak in this league. They kind of need to start seeing results within the first 3 years to really show their value. It seems in this league nowadays.
Yeah, it just seems like these past few years, um, a lot of the stars of today really just started their careers a couple of years ago, and here we are. We get to see the elites extending the lead up to 4, and so right now the sense of urgency is a little bit higher. Like the standards are much higher than it is compared to years past, as we get to see um, Gennaro being able to answer back.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, we look at the Bangor Tides, who had two different style players develop over time. Lance Wildfire definitely taking longer to mature as a player, but he hit definitely a very high peak because of it. Then you got Leon Belmont, the #1 pick from 2017, kind of expected to come in and be a shot in the arm for Bangor. And I mean, both players obviously worked out for the team in terms of success, but for these players on the court, who's going to be the Lance and who's going to be the Leon?
Yeah, like I said, for some, it really does depend on the player and their development is going, and how much time a team is willing to take for each of these guys. Of course, some of these players are Rob. We get to see Robbins able to get the easy lay, a wild block attempt.
Yeah, that was just Barnaby, I think, trying to go for a big block there, and Ivy Robbins just left so wide open. I'm surprised she didn't just take a step and dunk it in, but.
Yeah, right now we're going to see Wes Penrock be able to pass it over to Gennaro. Gennaro, fadeaway jumper, no good. As Robbins gets the board, as the Elite are up by 6 with about 7 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah, both teams struggling on offense. We saw the statistic below 40%. It's kind of the 40% is kind of the minimum you expect to see in the FBA.
Yeah, and the offensive struggles really continue for both sides of the ball. As once again, we get to see another miss on the Elite side.
Well, and how much of that do you think is because of the lack of chemistry? I mean, most of these players maybe have played a couple hours with each other.
I think it really plays into a big factor because when it comes to these, we're still looking for individual talent more so than team talent. I mean, of course, being able to find that that extra passing or being able to find the open men to go for a good shot to a great shot is always a plus, but there are times where you're just like, all right, we got to see how you can do in ISO situations. Maybe you can find a way to get away to break from your man, like we see here with a pick and pop situation for an easy 3 on Slater as they extend the lead up to 7.
Yeah, I mean, a screen from that big of a man is going to leave you wide open. As we see elevation.
Ooh.
A dunk there for the Stars, getting the crowd excited after that 3. Answering back with a strong dunk there in the drive, and Robbins trying to answer back with one of her own. Off the glass is good.
Yeah, right now the Elites are still trying to keep their lead at a pretty decent. What the heck? Decent distance. And we get to see Slater get their first personal. We get to see Gennaro get set out for a little bit.
Yeah, decent minutes there from Gennaro.
Oh, shush.
Look, it's only the second game of the season in terms of sports, and I get to pick on you for the whole year. Got started early.
Yeah. Enjoy it while you can.
And Karamo!
Right,
Oh, goodness. A dunk there coming off the bench just flew into the paint.
yeah, right now the Stars are looking like to have a good, take a little bit of advantage in the paint, and we get to see yet another reach in there, this time from Pulse.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't pull her after that. That's her second personal foul. I think off a second reach in. I mean, she's definitely trying to show that she has good paws and reach in and swipe the ball away, but just getting called for the contact.
Yeah, but that's another thing that's probably going to be important is to really kind of have that patience as well. Because, of course, you want to be able to make those type of big plays throughout in the game, but this is not the time for that. And we're going to see another slam as I say that.
Ash elevating back. I mean, he's not starting this game, but 1 minute on the floor and already put up a dunk.
Yeah, right now a lot of these players are trying to show out as much of their talent as they can. As you can see Kendricks trying to fight his way into the paint, but he gets fouled there by Falcom, and that's first shooting foul, which is
that ball
I'll give the
almost went in. Actually, he went for a swipe and the ball almost flew in off of it. I think that's the only reason why they called it a shooting foul, because it hit the rim.
Yeah, that's probably the case. If any other case, it probably would have been a. But since it did hit the backboard, I guess it would. They just like, you know what, let's give it to him.
It looked like I mean, he could have been trying to do an underhand shot, I guess. The ball flew up towards the rim. That's
well,
my
we
favorite
did
thing,
see.
Seeing the alley-oop attempts that turn into a three-pointer.
It happens sometimes. But we get to see both free throws being made on the Star side, and now they're only down by 5, 17-12. We did see a major change-up between both the teams. So we get to see a couple of more young guns get a chance to shine as we see Robbins pass it over to Van Zandt. And then London deep into the paint, deep into the three-pointer. He passes it over to Van Zandt. No good, though.
I have a fancy behind-the-back no-look pass. That was impressive. Ash just not able to convert.
I'm sure any team that are looking for a point guard is really keeping an eye on him. On them, excuse me. As we get to see London with the rock.
He did perform well in the D-League. I think he was the MVP for the season.
Yeah, so right now he's coming in with a lot of eyes on him already. Get to see London.
Oh God, this is
taking his time. He passed it over to Falcom.
Falcom, why did you back away? You had twice the size of him.
Yeah, he could have easily just knocked him down on the curb and just jam it home, but no good that time as Caramel passes it over to Cloverfield. Cloverfield with a lay-in, and it's good.
That's surprising from her. She definitely did not have, she's only 5'8", I believe. Quite literally in a forest of trees there in the kennel.
Yeah, but as you know, size doesn't really matter as much if you're doing very well when it comes to speed and agility. And we can tell from Lance Wildfire from his efforts in the finals last year, as we get to see the Elites extend their lead back up to 3-19-16. So far, it has been a very slow, gritty battle between these two teams. And right now, Cloverfield trying to find her way into the paint, but she almost loses the ball. Passes it. And Caramel trying to go in, but it gets blocked, so we get a shot clock violation. It will be the Elite's ball now. And so that was a tough break for them as they have to get another turnover.
Yeah, and I mean, Elite's going to have an opportunity here, extend that lead back up a little bit.
Yeah, right now we get to see Robbins. She was thinking about the three, but instead passes over to London, hands over to Holmgreen. Holmgreen for three. No good. Hits the side of the rim as we get to see the Stars get the rebound. Over. Passes it up to the Fash, who goes for three. No good either. So a couple of misses on the three-point line these last couple of possessions. And we get to see another three get attempted. Again, no good. But they get the rebound, and we get to see a reach in by Fash. That is their first personal.
Yeah, 14 seconds, though, resets the shot clock a little bit there. Give him a chance for at least a decent play setup here.
Yeah, right now we get to see London. Thinking the time. trying to find a way to go deep into the paint, but this that goes to a. It's good.
Yeah, fading away from the free throw line, moving side to side, not your standard shot or one you would expect to be taking on a regular basis, but he makes it work.
Yeah, right now, Fash playing a little bit of the point here.
Oh!
Oh, nice jam there. I am probably not going to try my best to attempt that last name.
Luther. Luther. That's a dunk to make
yeah, we're just gonna go with
DQ
Luther.
proud.
Yeah, any teams that are looking for a big is going to be very interested in that player, as London Eye would get the 3 there. So the Stars are only down by 3, have a chance to tie it.
Oh my God,
For
Luther,
the minute,
stop.
Right now, we are seeing Luther just taking it over in these past couple of possessions.
Oh, Luther, please. The backboard can't take it anymore. This is abuse at this point. Stop.
Yeah, right now, Robbins taking a challenge against Luther. As Robbins passes it over to Hunger. Once again, not really fighting anything. Try to get a quick screen, gets switched, and gets a reaching foul. So they'll be able to get. Oh, they're in the bonus now this time.
Yeah, all
so
the steals
from
Cat earlier kind of put them in this bonus situation. But Luther definitely in game 1 was not as, I'll say explosive as that. He definitely had good baskets. I think maybe 1 dunk, but limited minutes here tonight. Flash in a pan right now, and only 2 possessions, 2 big dunks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Danish Jackalope is raring to be able to make up for lost time from the last game. Trying to show that impact, just try and see if he can rise his stock up a little bit. As Holmgren is able to knock down the second. So the Elites are once again back up by 3. That's Fash. Take your time to try to go for alley-oop pass, and it is good to Tipton.
Oh my, apparently we turned on the All-Star game here.
Yeah, it seems to me that athleticism is the name of the game for this year's class. We get to see a lot of athleticism here, as we get to see another jump shot from Robbins.
So the paint has worked well. Quick scoring flourish for this team in the past couple minutes, and I mean the field goal percentage has shot up thanks to the good shots. Kierkegaard no good on that.
Yeah, right now, Hungary could have an opportunity to take the final for the Elites, as Marin pulls it back a little bit, letting time wind down. Probably go for a little bit of an ISO play, but instead passes over to Robbins. Has a little bit of an advantage here, and take advantage. And so that'll call the first quarter, as the Elites are up by 5, 27-22.
Yeah, good showing there at the end. It turned from a defensive game to an offensive game very fast, and I definitely know there's going to be quite a few highlight plays to add to these players' reels before the FBA draft now, thanks to those dunks coming in there at the end.
Yeah, I certainly think that with all that little bit of flashiness, it really does give a couple of gleaming eyes here for some of the scouts that are in attendance today.
Yeah, even though I do know Cedric O'Toole definitely mentioning that he doesn't feel this class is very defensive minded, and we might be seeing some effect of that here right now.
Yeah, there has been a little bit of sloppy play on defense for both sides. We can see Robbins laying it up, no good there. As Tipton gets the board.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen her take at least 1 step in off a dribble just to get a little bit closer to the rim. That was really far considering how open she was.
Yeah, and Falcon was able to get the board, though, as good to see the Elites once coming back up, trying to extend the lead up to 7 as Falcon head over to Marin going over to Robbins. Staying along, they try to pass it into the paint, but Van Zandt's able to save it, and we get to see a shooting foul on Selby, so...
Yeah, and that will...
Van Zandt will go to the line for 2.
Third-rated player from the Combine. How was your Combine, by the way? I don't remember that. That was before my time as a caster.
Uh, well, I'd say it was pretty decent. Of course, I didn't really. I was a part of the top 24 of my class, but I wasn't really uh been put as much of a high ground as needed. But of course, I was able to get picked up a little bit higher than what was expected of me. You can take that as you will with of the Elastic Arctics. So I would say I had a pretty decent show. Of
I mean, your brother was
course, I wasn't
there.
the most elite of the elite. Huh?
I mean, your brother was on the Arctics at the time, was he not? It was.
He was, but that wasn't the main influence of why they decided.
Moran
And
with
then we get his
the.
team.
Said Lamar with a long three, no good. Shot clock wound down there. Still a 7-point game here.
Yeah, right now we get to see the Stars. See if they can try to cut this deficit. They've kind of lost a little bit of footing here in the early going of second quarter as Ash try to pass over to Falcon. Falcon is able to get the leg in. It's good.
Yeah, good heads-up play there from Ash, seeing the drive in Falcom out of the corner of his eyes and just dishing off a bounce pass to him.
Yeah, right now we get to see a good drive there, but it's no good. But hits again. Luther striding his strut at this game right now.
Kierkegaard, he missed his long-range shot earlier, but dunks like that, not going to miss those often. And gets the defensive rebound.
Yeah, right now Luther's having a little bit of a showing here. Right now we get to see a screen from him. You can see a pass over to Tipton, who was wide open for three. Not able to get it down, though. Right now we get to see Azari. Hands it over to Marin. Marin. Getting their time. He passes over to McQuad. McQuad loses the ball there. Nice defensive effort over there by the Stars as Cloverfield passes over to Selby. Trying to go for those fast break points, and they're able to get it down. And right now they have cut the deficit down to 5 as the Elites is trying to keep their lead down pack as they head over to Azari. Azari to the paint. It's no good, but he tried to tip it over to his teammate. Not able to get it down as Selby gets the board, and the Stars have a chance to cut the deficit to 1 possession. All they need is a quick layup, and they're good to go. It seems like they have a little bit of trouble. They pass it over to Fash. Fash going over to Luther. Luther going over to Selby. They got to do something with it. Selby with a desperation shot. And no good. Hits the back of the rim. Right now we get to see Azari have an opportunity to pass it over to Ash for the fast break. And it's good. So at this moment, the Elites are up by 7 once again. Seems like that's how far they can really go lead-wise in this con. We get to see a nice 3, no good, though, and it's out of bounds to the Elites. I had to say, some pretty decent form there. Could have gone in, but if they went just a little bit light. But right now, we get to see a quick substitutions between both teams. Right now, we get to see Ulysses bring it down. Right now, the Ulysses. Get a nice screen. Get the switch. Trying to look deep into the paint. Having a little bit of trouble trying to find his footing. Passes over to Akayu. Akayu. Passes over to Ulysses one more time for a desperation 3. And it's good! And so this is our first double-digit lead here. The Elites 36, Stars 26. And we get to call a timeout by the Stars. Trying to see if they can find a way to stop this offensive slaughter there that they find themselves being
put through.
Succumb to. Yeah.
So that's actually a good point, I guess, to bring up. These players, obviously, coming into the league, they're going to face situations like this. The top draft teams are teams that have traditionally been not great the past season, and it's kind of expected to be in a similar boat going forward. How can scouts look at the situations that the players see in this game and translate it to how they might perform in the FBA?
Well, honestly, it's pretty much looking at the body language and really how mentally tough they can go throughout the entirety of the season. Because a lot of the teams that are in the early going, like for instance, the Pittsburgh Keystones or the biggest wild cards that we haven't seen, really kind of struggled a little bit throughout these past couple of years, trying to find their footing. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer for teams to really find that, whether it has to deal with trying to find the right molding, and for finding that player that will able to be that spark in creating that culture that is needed for those teams to be.
I mean, I think you 100% nailed it there. Uh, it is a lot about body language and how a player reacts in these situations. Uh, it takes one player to poison a team's mood, and you definitely don't want to be the rookie that's doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now, of course, we get to see the elites extended back once again to double digits. And sometimes this is a good opportunity to see which players are able to look at this deficit and try and take over a little bit and, ooh, excuse me, and see if they can be like the main reason of why they can able to get back into this game a little bit. As we get to see, Akayu passes over to Ulysses, hands it back to Cross, going over to Falcon. Falcon getting guarded pretty well, and he tried to pass it into the paint, but it gets intercepted by Fletcher. That was a bad pass from the get-go. And right now we get to see a shooting foul on Cross. So we will see the Stars get 2 free throw shots.
Yeah, and that has been actually a interesting margin is that the Elite's been to the line 9 free throws attempted compared to the Stars, which this would be their first 4. So.
Yeah, right now you can probably say that the Elites have had a little bit more of a cleaner game compared to the Stars.
Well, I mean, that they have, at least in terms of generating charity stripe opportunities. Ooh, not able to convert the second there.
Yeah, right now those free throws are going to be very important to have. Ulysses goes for 3, and not even get it down, though. Donbrook take the board. And so far, we get to see Tocino, who pulls it back over to get the 3 opportunity. No good, though, as McLeod gets the board.
Yeah, we saw her hit those 2 yesterday from beyond the arc. Gotta keep an eye on her. You can't leave her that open, even if she missed that one.
Yeah, right now we're trying to see a little bit of an ISO play, but it's no good on the attempt. As we're going to see Fletcher bringing it up. Fletcher got a couple of birds moving around as we can just go for a spin move, pass it over. It gets stolen by McQuad. Once again, trying to be a little bit too flashy here.
Yeah, McQuaid, nice interception.
Yeah, I can understand that it's very important to show all what you can do, but you got to remember, this is an exhibition game. You don't have to go for that extra. It's really just trying to keep down to the basics. We can see another tip pass and Akayu with the steal.
Yeah, I think it's just them trying to get a little fancy now.
Yeah, we're going to see McQuad being able to extend the lead up to 11, 40-29. As only got less than 5 minutes left in the first half. And so far, we get to see a good lay-in there for the Stars, and they cut the deficit down back to single digits. So Ulysses. And over to Falcon. Falcon. Looking for somebody to pass over to Ulysses. Less than 10 seconds left on the shot clock. And Ulysses goes to pull up for a mid-ranger, not able to get it. Right now, the Star need to find some offensive prowess, but not going to get it for that position. Falcon was able to get the steal, and Akayu gets passed over to Cross, and Cross gets the lay-in, and once again, they're back up by 11. right now, the Stars once again calling a timeout. They have to do something to be able to diminish those unforced turnovers, because a lot of them aren't really being forced by the other team. They're just making bad passes left and right.
Yeah, like I said, it's a lot of unnecessary turnovers.
Yeah, right now we get to see some change up with the elites as London and Robbins come into the game. And right now we get to see Robbins get the board here as Cross brings it up down the court. Taking it deep to the 3 points of London. London trying to find their opening. Going up for a tough jump shot, not able to get it down. That's Fletcher. Goes for the West Power, who goes for the easy lay-in. Here comes London. Trying to see if they can get their lead back into double digits as Akayu. Taking their time. Driving into the paint and laying it in. So right now both teams are starting to pick it up offensively. Well, they at least have never really went down offensively throughout this entire second quarter. The Stars, on the other hand, trying to find a way to keep that offensive thing going, and they're losing for the ball.
Someone's going to get a hold of this at the end.
Yes, and right now, you might as well just stop right there and just take the shot clock evaluation, but it was no good, and it will still be Elite's ball. That was a possession, if I ever seen one. I don't think we've ever really seen something like that in a long time.
Was it even a possession there? I don't think anyone held onto the ball for the full 20 seconds. They were just playing hot potato with it, bouncing it around.
Yeah, right now we get to see McQuan hands it over to Robbins. We had our little laugh of the evening. And we get to see no good there for Don, as Donbrock gets the board. Karamu. Trying to look for that opening, and we get to see a 3-second violation offensively. And so the Elites will have the ball once again. The crowd's not really looking very pleased of the refs being kind of hard on these young players. They kind of want to see them play a little bit more. I mean, of course, they're trying to make.
I was gonna say they're trying to get.
They were going
to. You keep cutting in and out for me a little bit there, so it's hard to tell when you start talking.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And once again, the Elites will go to the line for two.
Yeah. I will say it's probably because they're trying to make sure that no one gets harmed in the in this game, because of course we're trying to make sure that these players are as healthy as they can be entering into the draft pool.
I mean, there's nothing worse than for your draft stock to get injured. Well, I mean, actually, there is something worse, but nothing worse that can happen during a game than getting injured during the... Okay, I take that back. You can actually punch someone or gore someone. You know what? Just play the game like you're supposed to play it. That will keep your draft stock nice and safe.
Right now we get to see Tolsino. Looking for somebody, going over Kendrick. Kendrick with the mid, and they were able to knock it down. So right now, even though they're still down by 11, still got plenty of game left, but there's only about 1 minute left in the first half, as we get to see the Elites once again continue to extend that lead, as Gennaro is able to bring up the rock. Gennaro going over the free throw jumper, not able to get it down as Akayu gets the board. Oh, Akayu going for a quick spin move. And it's over to Robbins. Going over to Slater. Slater for the lay-in, and it is good.
I'm going to be honest, I lost track of Slater there behind the defense.
Yeah, the Elites are just right now running away with this offensively, and the Stars are just being very lackluster on defense. And Gennaro trying to go for the mid-range. No good that time. It's Akayu. We're getting it up. Looking for an opening to do more, and she's able to slam it down.
Where'd the defense even go? It looks like they just vanished out of thin air like a magic trick. They just, I guess, no communication on who was guarding who there.
Yeah, that's not something you really want to see for any of these kiddos. As right now, we're going to see a quick lay-in. It gets blocked there by Akayu. Akayu now has really just taken over this game a little bit. Right now, we get to see Elise possibly taking the final shot. You might as well give it to Akayu, and they do that. As she tries to find a way to get into the paint, and she gets triple defended, and it didn't matter. The Stars are just left standing there, watching her make that shot, and of course, the Stars not able to capitalize on the fight.
And
The
we're going
Elite stay in the lead.
jump into the stats for both teams real fast at halftime here. Kat Telsino, 4 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. Fletcher, 3 points, 1 assist, 1 steal, and a block. Barnaby Dunbroch, 4 points, 7 rebounds already, 2 for 3 from the field. Not a lot of shot opportunities, but making them count. Also with an offensive rebound. Wes Penrod, 2 points, 5 rebounds, but 2 turnovers. A bit costly there in terms of passing. Karamo, 2 for 4, 4 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Luther Kierkegaard, 6 points, 3 rebounds, all 6 of those points coming off of 3 monstrous dunks there. Cloverfield, 2 points, 1 assist, 1 for 3 from the field. Not a huge showing from her tonight. Lauren Fash, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 for 2, but both of them being 3-pointers. Can't really blame her. Gennaro, 2 points, 3 turnovers, 1 for 9. Not a good showing here for Austin. Really struggling from the floor. Maybe wants to pass the ball a little bit more rather than trying to shoot out of a slump here in the exhibition game. Kendricks, 4 points, 1 from the field and 2 from the free throw line. Zipped in 7 minutes, 2 points, and 2 rebounds as well. Robbins already with a double-double after the half. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block, 5 for 8 from the field. McQuaid, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 50% from the floor. Okayu, 14 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a block. One of those coming from a dunk. Nice seeing her elevate like that, similar to her brother, Ogun Akayu. Falcom, she has 2 points, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 for 3 from the field. Took a 3-point attempt. I think that was a heave as the shot clock was winding down, and only 2 points from the free throw line. Evan Cross, 4 points, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Ash Zant, 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and a block, 2 for 3 from the field. London, 4 points, 2 for 4 from the field. Slater, 5 points, perfect from the floor, including a 3-pointer with 1 rebound and 2 assists to her names. Olgren, not a lot going for him, 4 points, 1 assist. Marone missed both shot attempts so far. Hazari, 1 assist, missed his 1 shot attempt. And then Ulysses, 1 for 2 from the beyond the arc, 3 points to his name. And then we'll jump on into the second half in just a moment. I think it's pretty clear that the Leeds have started to pull away, almost a 20-point lead going into this second half now. What are your thoughts on what the Elites need to do kind of to make this game still viable for them?
Honestly, it's really just kind of having a resetting of the mind. Just pretend that this is a whole entirely new game and just not look at the scoreboard as, even though they really shouldn't be doing it in this game anyways. This is really more so individual talent than overall team in this exhibition match. Still, they have to find a way to not try and force things during the game, because they've been doing that quite a lot, and that's really what's been hindering them throughout the first half, especially in the second quarter.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, this definitely is a completely different game than what they're going to experience once they're in the FBA. This is really a showcase for them. I mean, they could lose by 100 points. It's just them showing up and impressing the scouts. That's what's on their minds. You know, play their game. That's what they need to do. It doesn't matter if they win or lose in that sense. I mean, obviously a win will make them feel better. It's a nice ego boost, but at this point, I'm not going to say they should discount the chances of even winning a game here. They should focus on just playing and showing what the best they can do.
and they have the opportunity to do that as we get to see some nice defensive effort this time around for the Stars. As we get to see Fletcher going for a mid-ranger, not even it down as we get to see um, the Elites turning it over by accident on the rebound.
Interesting situation there. Just a free second chance opportunity for the Stars. They don't even have to dribble it down the court, so they get a full shot clock here.
Yeah, they can take a good advantage for things like this. Yeah, over to Dunbar. Dunbar gets fouled. That'll be Robbins. Personal, as we get to see the Stars try and cut down this big deficit here.
Yeah, we'll go to the line for two. That's one easy way to get it done.
Yeah, because they really have lacked going onto the stripe in the first half. So trying to see if they can draw a little bit more fouls to have the charity stripe to their advantage. And we're now going to see Don Bart's going for the second one. No good, though. I think this is like the second play that we saw only making one out of the two, and we get to see another turnover. But this time it's on the Elite's end, and Fletcher trying to drive it, but it gets blocked pretty hardcore.
Yeah, still, this is the way they can whittle down the lead here. Especially with the easy pass into the paint like that.
Yeah, Penrod gets done with him a little bit, but he takes the dunk and gets fouled. But
I mean, that's an easy and one opportunity if you force it through the hoop.
Yeah, right now West Penrod just showing that amount of power, and he's able to get the and one. So that'll help cut the deficit down just a little bit, as they're only.
I mean, still large margin, 15 points. That's not anything to sneeze at.
It isn't, but we have just started the second half, so they can try and clean it up if they're able to try and get some good stops, some very important stops here. And it starts off with this very good defensive effort there against Cross, as he's not able to get that long mid-range.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The defense is not necessarily stopping them from getting to the post. It's just stopping the movement. Make them kind of become stationary. Don't let them get in motion. That's the good head of steam is all they need to get down low in the post and score.
Yeah, right now we're going to see a good block there on the Elite's end as Akayu passes over to Slater. Slater with the mid-ranger, and it's good. So right now the Elites are doing very, very good. Almost 50% in field goal percentage.
Yeah, definitely.
That's very impressive.
It definitely is, and the fact that they've held the Stars through mistakes on their part and just tough shot selection makes their defense look much better, as we see Gennaro for turnaround three as the buzzer was winding down there.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of having to be forced to take a tough shot, as once again the Elites are just extending their lead once again. It's taking advantage of very easy buckets and importance. And right now we get to see, I believe that was blocked there that time.
I would have to assume, or that was just a weak attempt. And Slater passing the cross in transition could have had a chance to push this to 20, but no good.
Fletcher not able to get the opportunities. It goes in and out. Cross. Oh, gets a tip, but McQuaid, was able to recover it. Akayo gets double team here, and it looks like we get to see a jump ball between Akayu and I believe it's kind of hard to really see the name right now, but we get to see the Elites win it as Slater has nowhere to do. Akayu for three, and she's not able to get that one in as Fletcher gets the board. And we see the Stars haven't really scored in the last 2 minutes, as we get to see that end very quickly, and we get an and one opportunity as West Penrod gets on the line for one more. And right now we get to see Akayu get subbed out for Ash Van Zandt. Which, honestly, if it were me, I don't think I would have her in for a good while. She's shown more than enough of her capability. These of how since the middle of the second quarter. We get to see some sub-ins on the Stars end as Tolsino and Cloverfield gets to sub out as Ash is over to McQuaid. McQuaid going over to Cross. Trying to look for an opening, and he's able to get it down. And of course, you get to see another timeout by the Stars. To be honest with you, I think the Stars has been really the only one calling the timeout so far in this game.
Well, I mean, they are the ones down by 20 at this point. I mean,
fair enough. But right now, they need to find a way to see if they can try and bring this back. Because you get to see Fash back in the game, going for a mid-range, not able to get it down this time. Ash slowly bringing it up. Looking for a play to McQuaid, going over to Cross. Cross pulling it back. Trying to access the playing field. He passes over to McQuaid once again. Cross. Getting the screen. He gets the matchup he wants. Going for McQuaid for an open three. No good.
I mean, a little bit out of his range there, especially with the shot clock starting to wind down. Forced to take it.
And right now, Fash. She's not able to get there. She's having a little bit of a slump. Cross.
I mean, also to be fair, they're up by 20, so if he wants to take a three, I think he should be allowed to.
Yeah, I think you could miss a couple of shots here and there. We can see that once again as Cloverfield brings it up, trying to take their time. Really trying to see if they can find an opening as Dunbroch passing over to Cloverfield once again. Cloverfield in. And she's able to get the draw the reach-in foul, and so we get to see a reset on the shot clock, which is always good because I think they only had 7 seconds on the shot clock left, and they weren't really going anywhere with that position. Right now we're gonna see Fash trying to drive in, but gets stopped in his tracks. And Fash not to beat it down, but Wes Penrod tries to get the board, but not able to capitalize on the offensive opportunity as Ulysses takes the teardrop advantage.
Ulysses.
As they once again, Ulysses, my mistake, Ulysses. As we get to see Stars, West Penrod going over Clover laying up, and it's good.
Yeah, down by 19 here. Just, it's been the entire game for the Elite so far.
Yeah, it just seems pretty lackluster. So, for the Stars, as once again the Elites get a chance to score, and they're once again up by 21. So I know it is a frustrating time for any player to really be in this position. It's not really good to be down like this, but it's a good reminder that you're gonna have to try and find a way to tough it out for a lot of these guys.
And Luther actually getting another bucket and one opportunity. That's his 9th point so far coming off the bench. And that's the 3rd foul for Ivy Robbins.
Yeah, Luther has really kind of been one of the, I guess you could say, the diamond in the rough for this Stars team at the moment. As we get to see Ash go for 3. No good there. As Cloverfield gets the board. But he's so far been very impressive. Good to see Selby. Hands it over to Luther. Luther hands it up to Cloverfield. Cloverfield. Pass over to Fash. Fash. Go to layup. And it's good.
Still shooting 33% for this half so far, but had extra opportunities.
Yeah, right now the Stars just have to find a way to capitalize, but the Elites are just kind of on cruise control a little bit, as we get to see S there. by Ulysses. And the Stars, as soon as you look away for a little bit, they're kind of catching up a bit. But only down by 14, as they were only down by 21 earlier.
Yeah, still that's a long deficit to climb. I mean, they were down by 15 not too long ago before they dropped to 21. So it's still not much of a game yet. All it takes is 1 or 2 baskets from the Elite and they're back in it. But airballing is one way to screw that up. Lauren
Right now
misses
we get
it,
to see
but Tipton is good.
laying it up and in. And so they have a chance to cut the deficit down to 10. They just need a good stop here. And right now we're going to see the Elites take their first timeout in a while in this game. And I guess right now they're trying to see if they can try and get back in their footing, because the last thing you want to do is not being able to finish.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is they wanted to bring in some players off the bench, kind of reset the mentality on the floor, because you're right, they kind of were in cruise control there. And it can be kind of hard to get out of that gear, especially considering how large of a lead they had.
Yeah, we're going to see both teams get a major sub-ins. And we're going to see Robbins not able to get the mid-ranger down. Cloverfield going to the Tipton. Hands it over to Karam. Kendricks. Tough fadeaway shot, but able to get it down. So right now, with a stop here, the Stars can have a chance to put it into a single-digit lead. Right now, the Elites are trying to prevent that as Selby gets drawed for a reach-in foul.
Yeah, now the Stars are in the bonus.
Yeah, so the Elites have to be careful as Holmgren. Holmgren gets the screen. Try to go for the layup, but it gets fouled by Kendricks. And that's a second personal for the game. And right now the fans are just getting a little frustrated with the refs again. They really want to just see these guys.
Well, I mean, to be fair, this game is quite close still. Despite the fact that it was a 21-point game not too long ago.
And Holmgren's able to extend that lead back up to 12. We're now selling with the rock. Find a way to drive in, and he gets fouled by Robbins. So they can cut the deficit back down to 10 with these 2 free throws from Selby.
Yeah, and that's her 4th. I wouldn't be shocked if she gets subbed out here just to be safe. I mean, if she gets to 5, but it looks like they won't actually. So she'll be kind of playing on the edge here.
And I think that if you're a Stars big, you'll be licking your chops a little bit, having an opportunity to potentially chance to potentially take out a pretty good big in this game.
Yeah, I mean, even then, just the fact that she'll be conscious of not fouling out does mean that she's likely to be a little bit hesitant on defense. More opportunities down low in the post.
Yeah, right now we can see McQuaid. McQuaid not able to get the shot to hit the rim, so it will be a shot clock.
Yeah, just poor shooting night for Gennaro. He said pouring that out, but another set of substitutions for both teams. A little under 3 minutes left to go in this third quarter. Probably going to give the Stars a chance to rest before the 4th. God, he just blocked so simply there.
Yeah, right now the Elites once again have an opportunity to extend this lead up to 13. And right now we get to see Robbins doing her best to try and get into this paint, and she's able to get the easy lay in. And right now we get to see Some quick moves as the Stars not able to get that bucket down. Right now, Holmgren pulling it back into the 3-point line. Passes it over to London. McQuaid going over to London. London laying it up. And it's good. And once again, as soon as we thought that the Stars were booming a bit, they end up having to be down another large deficit as we are getting close to the end of the third.
Yeah, I mean, they're right back where they were not too long ago, back down by 15 here, just like that.
Yeah, right now they have to see if they can find that spark once again, especially on defense. We're going to see Marin pass it over to McQuaid. McQuaid going over to Robbins. Robbins to Holmgren. Lots of passing by the elites right now. And we're going to see a quick pass to Marin, who goes for a deep long two. No good, but Robbins gets the board and lays it home. And right now we get to see another timeout from the Stars.
Yeah, only 3 left to go, and they still have a whole nother quarter to play here. They might run out at this rate.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really a good thing. They might have to hold any timeouts, at least for a little while. Probably up until the at least the first few minutes of the fourth quarter. But at this current moment, ooh, you get to see a nice tip over to the elites. Some good defense there is Toronto. The Stars are just struggling to see if they can find an open spot. As Gennaro 1 for 11. And right now we're going to see another reach-in foul, this time by Fletcher. Right now we're going to see Kendricks get subbed out for Dunbrock. Right now Holmes is going to pass it in and going over to Marin. Marin, not in a very favorable matchup into the paint as he passes out to Akayu. Akayu double-teed once again. Akayu going for a long two, and it's not able to get that one as it hits the back of the rim. That's Tocino. Letting the clock wind down here in this third quarter. Not much difference between the shot and game clock. Over to Don Bartu goes over back to Docino. Docino going for a tough three. And that looked like it really wasn't going to go in as it sailed a little bit to the right as we end the third quarter with the huge lead, 72-55.
Yeah, almost back to a 20-point game there. That three-pointer would have been really nice to cut down the deficit here, but they'll start the fourth quarter like they started the third quarter.
Yeah, and right now, see Tocino. Pass it over to Gennaro. No, got a couple of furs moving around a little bit, trying to get open, but instead we get to see Gennaro going for.
Getting fancy with the double clutch there, pulling it back down and switching sides. The defense got out of his way.
Yeah, they already had to let him go for those fancy moves. Once again, the Stars trying to find some kind of offensive answer. Ayu passes over to Holmgren. Holmgren going to lay up, and it's good. Right now, Fletcher passes over to Gennaro. Gennaro, let's see if we can continue those fancy footsteps. But instead gets defended pretty tough, and we're going to see a defensive 3-second violation time.
Ooh, this is not the norm. We'll get to see a free throw attempted here, and possession will remain with the Stars.
So, yeah, this is a very big opportunity here for the, as they do need all of the offensive powers they can get, and they're able to get the first free throw. So, as you said, they will retain possession with 14 seconds left of the shot clock. And so right now we're trying to see if they can take advantage of that, and hopefully they can put the deficit on just a little bit more. It's Dunbar. looking to really dig deep into the paint, but instead go for a fadeaway, and it's good. Was an excellent shot there. It was a tough shot nonetheless, but he was able to get it down. And right now we're back in square one as they're down by 14.
Yeah, still a long mountain to climb, but it is possible, even though fouls like that, maybe not the best idea.
Yeah, right now we get to see that Dunbuck is on his third personal, obviously. At this too much foul wise unless he just goes wild with them. But once again, it's really not a foul as they have an opportunity to extend the lead. Do it with the first shot, as he was able to miss the first. If he ends up missing both, that's like a breath of fresh air for the Stars.
I was going to say, the fact that he missed the first one actually makes that foul worth it probably in the end against Okayu. And I think that's an even split there. I don't think either party's really happy with the situation, but 1 point, well, far better than being down by 2 more.
Yeah, but they have an opportunity to see if they can cut this down just a little bit more. They do need to have a couple of stops on the other end as well. Gennaro hands over to Wes Penrod. Pass over to Tolsino. Tolsino is not able to get those buckets. So far, Slater. Hands it over to Okayu. Okayu looking to try and drive in, and she's able to get the mid-range shot.
19 points tonight for definitely stepping it up. I think she's had a better game than her brother did years ago.
Yeah, and 10 points within the paint as well. So she's really taking advantage of those opportunities, which her being a rhinoceros, she's able to drive in herself pretty well. As Dunbrock able to lay it in. Once again, they're back down by 15. But as I said, it really means nothing if they don't get that very important stop. And they do so here with a bad pass there for the Elite, as Wes Penrod was able to get the steal. Right now we get to see Gennaro trying to drive in. Looking for something, has no choice but to try and look for somebody to pass. Goes for Tolsino, who is wide open for 3, and it's good.
Yeah, I told you she hit those last night, and they're just leaving her wide open like that, not respecting her range at all.
Yeah, that's not something you really want to do there if she's known as a 3-point specialist. But here comes the Elise. Another big miss, so the Stars have an opportunity to see if they could possibly take it down to single digits. As Wes Penrod looking for 3 himself. No good though. So Cross gets the board. Right now Akayu is looking for trying to all kinds of stop it. Passes over Slater. Ends up with a Cross. Cross. Going for a little bit of a step back, but it's no good. Right now the Stars still have an opportunity as Dunbar laying it up, and it's good. So right now, once again, they have an opportunity to single digits and see if they can actually catch up to the Elites. I would not be surprised.
I'll say the fact that they've done it twice now really should have the Elites on edge. They probably want to call a timeout at some point.
Yeah, I was going to say that there's a good chance that they may have to. They do not, if they're not able to get a score here, and of course they don't. And if the Stars able to score, they're gonna have to call a timeout and try and calm things down. As Gennaro able to dunk it home. Tolsino with the assist.
This is the first single-digit. Yeah, and there's the timeout. I called it. This is the first single-digit deficit the Stars have faced, I think, in over a whole half. I think in the second quarter they went down by 10, and they've just been that far behind the whole time.
Yeah, I would say this is the first time having an opportunity like this to see if they can dwindle down even further. This is probably the first single-digit deficit, probably in the early goings of the second quarter, like maybe 10 or 9 minutes left of that half. And right now we get to see Slater almost losing the ball, but Robin's able to McQuaid going to Caillou. If there's anyone that can probably stop this surge, it's there. But McQuaid gets his dunk.
Yeah, like I said, that Okayu definitely they've done a double team, which just leaves McQuaid open there, and Gennaro had a lot of struggles earlier, got some points off the dunks, but not able to make the long range 2 work.
Yeah, once again, Akayu getting a little bit of double teamed here. And McQuaid able to take advantage. And Gennaro gets, and he's able to draw the foul on Gennaro. He will go on the line for an and one.
And just like that, the comeback snuffed out almost. If this goes in, that's a 13-point deficit once again. I mean, the Stars have come back and then let it slip and then come back. And I mean, at this point, they need to just have the comeback and hold on to it the whole time. They can't afford to keep slipping as soon as they get close. And Gennaro going for 3 is not the way they do it.
Yeah, but at this point, they may have to try and rely on the 3-ball a little bit more. And we're going to see a tip pass there. What's it? And I was going to say, it was a little bit of a huge advantage for the Stars, but the Elite end up having it back in last second lay-in. So they extend the lead once again. And right now, it seems to be a little bit of a lost cause for the Stars as they miss and Cross gets the board. And Akayu wide open for 3, and that pretty much just kind of put the nail on the coffin.
Yeah, I mean, I blinked and looked away, and it's back to an 18-point game once again. Like I said, just the Stars, the Elites definitely have let the momentum slip at times. Ooh, big dive there from Gennaro, and now a jump ball, but stripped. Oh my God, it's the same thing over again, and they're going to give it to the Elites here.
And it's going to be on the Elite end of the floor, too, to make it matters worse. So they'll have a true fresh.
Yeah, like I said, plenty of time to run a play, plus plenty of time to burn the shot clock. You talked about cruise control earlier. That's what they need to be in now. At this point, an 18-point lead is they can just burn the shot clock. They'll kill it the game.
Yeah, because at this point, the Stars are going up against time, and that's not a position you want to be in. But we get to see a 3 that early on in the shot clock, which is a little bit surprising.
And like I said, the Stars with a bit of a drought here, it's really starting to cost them. Cool, good play.
That was a great play there for the Stars. Estocido, very well known for passing.
I was going to say she was very aware that she was likely to get blocked there as he committed to that block against her, but good idea keeping an eye on Barnaby on the corner there. Was left wide open.
Yeah, right now this is going to be a tough deficit as Robbins going for a tough long 2. No good this time in the Stars. Once again with the ball, it's Tocino. Looking to go into the paint, but instead passes it out to Gennaro. Gennaro hands it over to West Penrod. Lots of passes. And we get to see Tocino looking for something, and then we get to see a traveling violation. She was moving she was moving her foot paws a little bit too much onto the court, so they will call that a costly travel for the Stars. And right now, the Elites are up by 16, 87-70. It's London. Passes over to Cross. Cross goes for 3. And that pretty much does it for this game, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, 4 minutes left to go. 19-point deficit. With that, I guess your thoughts on the game here tonight. Like, who really stood out for you?
Well, I will say for when it comes to the Stars, even though that their showing has pretty lackluster at best, there were definitely some shining moments from a few players, especially when it comes to Luther. I think especially in the late second, early third quarter, he was really able to take advantage of those big moments. It really was the focal point of a couple of surges from the Stars as they were able to cut down some of the deficits.
Yeah, and I'm going to stay with the Stars as well. I think Barnaby definitely stepped up here in this game comparatively, pulled them along. I think he actually has in the double-double club this game, and we see Cat shooting a 3, back to 14. We've seen this song and dance multiple times.
Yeah, and right now I would say it'd be a little too late if we get to see a Caillou who is getting double teed once again, trying to look for somebody open, and here comes Cross. Cross trying to dive into the mid range, not able to get it down. And of course, if we're going to be looking at the Elite side, you can't really just say if there's any player that really stood out, it's obviously going to be a Caillou, because a Caillou has really kind of been the main reason why they were able to have some of these big runs.
And speaking of her, she'll get a shooting foul called against her.
Yeah, that's our first personal in the game. If I check stats right, we get to see Gennaro laying in the first one. They were able to get second. The deficit is now down by 12, and we get to see a full court press going on for the Stars. But right now, the Elites are able to get their court as McQuaid. McQuaid going over to Akayu. Try to use her speed to her advantage. She passes over to McQuaid. McQuaid passes over to Robbins. Robbins laying it up, and it's good. I will also say that Robbins also had a very solid performance throughout. She had a little bit of foul trouble throughout this game, but she was able to work around it and continue to have a solid performance. And once again, we can see a tip. Tocino was able to recover it. Right now, they have less than 10 seconds on the shot clock. He heads it over to Gennaro. Gennaro gets a quick screen. Try to go around these defenders, and he's able to lay it in. Using that quick footwork and dribbling skills to his advantage. Only down by 12. And right now, the Elites is able to extend the lead once again up to 14.
I mean, just no chill for them at all here. As we're going to see who and alley-oop getting fancy.
Yeah, I guess the defense for the Elites is kind of on cruise control, which is not really surprising because considering this game is just about to be wrapped up, giving some of their fellow draftees some chances to shine.
Yeah, so down by 12. I mean, we'll see them definitely Stars play some tight defense. It's technically not out of the realm of possibility, but realistically it is, even though we do see a turnover and a fast break opportunity for the Stars.
And right now, Fletcher is able to lay it in. They are once again at the only down by 10, 94-84. If they get a couple of stops here, we could probably see a lot of like game time decisions. But of course, as I say that, they weren't able to do what they got to do on defense.
Doing what they need to do on defense has been tough here for both teams. I mean, Aro just spin moves, dance his way in. I mean, at this point, honestly, if the game ends at 10 points apiece difference, I don't think the Stars are going to be that upset considering they could have been down by 21 or 30 or 40.
Oh, here we're going to see Tocino with the steal, see if they can get the fast break points, but instead gets fouled by London. Honestly, I don't think that foul was really necessary, considering where they are in this game.
Yeah, and at least he didn't foul too hard. It was just enough to kind of like, hey, I'm going to hold your arm and keep you from shooting. Like I say, it was a respectful foul. That wasn't one of the kind of fouls you'd expect to see from some players in the FBA, where if they're going to foul you, they're going to foul you hard to make sure you know they're there.
Yeah. And Tocino wasn't able to make the second, so they were able to cut the deficit into single digits. Let's see if they get a stop here to keep that into a single digit loss, as we get to see London trying to find a way to get into the paint. It's double teamed a little bit. London's still able to get the ball as Ulysses going for that fadeaway. No good. And that'll be it. So the Elites will take the W here. 96-87.
Happen. Yeah, we're going to go through the stats real fast here. Cat ending with 13 points, 6 assists, and a steal. And Barnaby Dunbroch definitely hit the double-digit club. 17 rebounds, 14 points, 6 for 7. Very smart choices from the field, at least in terms of shooting, and 2 offensive rebounds. Fletcher, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and a block. 2 for 6 with 1 free throw. Wes Penrod, 9 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, doing a bit of everything. Still, those 2 turnovers kind of costly in the end. Gennaro, 5 for 19, had a really tough time shooting here tonight. Could not dial it in. Cloverfield, 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 for 5 from the field. Karamo had a good game yesterday, not able to replicate it here tonight. Only 4 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Lauren Fash, 2 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 for 7. Tough night for her too. Luther Kierkegaard, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 4 for 5. Nice game from Kierkegaard today. Zipton, 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 for 4. Kendricks, 6 points, 1 rebound, 2 for 3. Great shooting off the bench for this draft. Selby, minus the H, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 for 5. But missed a free throw. That's kind of something you don't want to see, especially from your smalls. And jumping on over to the Elites, the winners of today's game. Robbins, 16 points, 20 rebounds, doing a bit of everything with 3 additional blocks on defense. McQuaid, 7 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks, 50% from the floor. Okayu, 22 points and 7 assists. Ooh, between Robbins and Okayu, a great showing for those two. 5 for 6 from the free throw line, but 8 for 14 from the field. Evan Cross, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 2 turnovers. Slater, 7 points, 3 for 7, took 5 3-pointers and missed all but one of them. That really hurt her field goal percentage. London, 10 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 5 for 7 from the field. Holgreen, 8 points, 1 assist, 2 for 4, but made 4 free throws. Ash Zant, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and a block, 50% from the field. Balcam, she hit 2 points, 6 rebounds, 1 steal. Zari, 9 minutes on the floor, only was able to put up 1 rebound and 2 assists, missed his 1-shot attempt. And that is it. Ulysses with 7 points, 3 for 10, also kind of a bit of a struggle tonight. Jumping on over to, I guess, the comparisons. I mean, obviously the first 2 quarters, I think, decided the game in the end. Don't you agree?
Probably more so the second quarter than the first quarter. I would say the first quarter was somewhat close, but I think after the second quarter, you could just say that at least just ran away with this entire game.
Yeah, like I said, it was the second quarter really that I think blew it out.
Yeah, I will say that I will have to say for the team of rookies that are coming into the field. I would say that if you were really focusing on a lot of the offensive progress, we certainly did get it on the elite side this game. Especially for Akayu, I think that she was definitely someone that increased her stock tenfold.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I think she was definitely one of the top centers in the draft. I think Luther, you could say the same about him. And honestly, Barnaby, this is probably the one fact between the starting positions, or the positions as a whole, that I think almost every center really showed up in these games. And I think it's going to make it very likely we're going to see a few of them jump up in the rankings, maybe a couple in the top 5. And we'll have to see how that affects the draft, because I think, as you and I have both seen over the seasons, centers are usually some of the first players off the board or that are reached for in the draft.
Oh yes, trying to find that stapled big man has been really kind of one of the more important things. Saying that, yeah, we are here as a playoff team, in my opinion, because I know that we see a majority of people actually kind of trade up to get these bigs as well, in order to show how much of an importance that it is for finding that solid big man to be that lockdown defender for you within the paint.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously the guards, you can't knock them necessarily. Some of them definitely having struggles. Some of the top players from the combine, at least, Ash and Ulysses probably, or Garland, really felt like they could have probably done more tonight and yesterday to really separate themselves from the pack. But then again, I don't think a lot of guards as a whole stood out aside from Okayu, who's really a forward in that regard. So I don't know if it really hurt their draft stock too much in the end. And you and I will definitely have to sit down and go through kind of what our thoughts are for the mock draft, which, speaking of which, the FBA draft will be next week on September 7th. Not a lot of time before we get to see where these players end up going.
Yeah, it's a very exciting time, even though that even though for some of these guys it really didn't go to the best of their abilities for the second game, but that's pretty much going to be all in the back of their minds. We go ahead and dive right on in to see who will get drafted and see who will be immediate contributors to these teams.
Yeah, so it's going to be a gamble for both teams. I'm imagining there's going to be quite a lot of scrambling now in the war room going forward. Teams that are, a little later in the draft, maybe seeing something in these games that makes them want to move up. Like you mentioned earlier, Tennessee, a team that could arguably trade down and still be quite happy in this draft. But we'll just have to see that. I think that's going to wrap it up tonight for us. I've been Ryan Eastman, and thank you for joining me, Marcus.
Anytime, it's been a pleasure.
And we will see all you lovely furs. I'm assuming you and I will be a part of the draft at some point, so we'll probably see you next week.